nah, 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 on your legendary center starts. So many other directions I can go with this, but you know what? I am just going to close up shop here and say, Clutch Points, do us a favor, will you? Why don't you disband as an organization until you get some people that actually know basketball, can print up facts about basketball, and put them in the right context?
Mm.
Oh, there's a word. Context. Because Clutch Points, organizations like yours and many, many others that my partner and I have seen over the years don't know the word.
Where contradiction and hypocrisy exist, lies the truth to set us all free. Here is where we all get enlightened. This has been yet another installment of the Bronsexual Confessions.
If I had racked my brain any further, I'd have exploded.
Mm. Yeah, I know the feeling.
That that needed to go no further than where it went.
Fully understand.
Because if it went any further, it'd be the top of the hour, and I'd get a mean look from my wife saying, "You need to come rest right now."
Yes,
And
we need
she's
not to have that.
and she's right. And she's right.
Hmm.
Now let's play a game that I started Monday, but we're gonna play a game called Start, Bench, Cut.
Mm.
And Monday, our subjects were Warren Moon, Michael Vick, and Randall Cunningham.
Okay.
Now I saw this on Facebook, and that's where I borrowed the idea. I got yelled at for my answer, and my answer was, and I repeated it on the show: Start Moon, cut the others. So I got attacked.
Hmm.
How can you say that about Randall Cunningham and Michael Vick? Because Warren Moon actually played quarterback. Because Warren Moon actually climbed the pocket and threw the football. Because Warren Moon only ran, and this is where I applaud Russell Wilson, when
When it
necessary.
needs to. Hmm.
Now, on this edition of Start, Bench, Cut, we're going running backs. And the running backs I just saw this: Eddie George, Clinton Portis, and Ricky Williams. My answer: cut them all.
Mm.
Because Ricky Williams couldn't stay healthy. Eddie George really didn't pan out the way he was supposed to pan out when he got to the NFL, especially after the Oilers became the Titans. And Clinton Portis was just a bum. So, cut them all loose.
Man, it's unfortunate what happened to Clinton Portis after he
It
played.
is. It is, man. It is. It
and he
is.
and what sucked was he was one of my favorite personalities in that era.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
and to see that happen, it really sucks. But let me see. I mean, I was a decent fan of Portis. I won't say I was huge. I was a huge fan or a huge detractor of him either.
Mm-hmm.
Um, let me see. Ricky Williams. He would be great if he smoked. And I mean, heck, he decided to not take football seriously until he realized, oh, I think I need to make some money. And actually decided to show that he actually had some talent as a running back and gained 10,000 yards as a running back in the NFL.
Right? Okay. All right. Let me do the real compare. Let me do the real comparison.
Hmm.
All right. I'll give you three Hall of Famers. Now remember, folks, the game is start, bench, cut. Okay? Start one, bench one, cut one. Now I'm going to make this so difficult on my partner that he's not going to cut any of them. Three great running backs:
All right.
Roger Craig, Earl Campbell, and Thurman Thomas.
So you're wrong for that.
I'll answer it right now. I'm not cutting any of them. I'll put all three of them in the backfield behind my quarterback and create a wishbone.
You were wrong for that. Okay.
What?
Man.
I'm wrong for I'm wrong for what?
Man. Okay.
I already
All right,
gave
this
you
is
my
what
answer. I'm letting you cheat off my test.
okay, I got you. I got you. I'm gonna do some creative cheating too. So what I would do
Okay.
is I would let me see. Dang. Okay. All right. I will start Earl Campbell at fullback.
Okay. Dig it.
I will. Yeah, I would. This one sucks. Oh, but yes, but yeah, I wouldn't cut any of those three either.
Right.
Start Earl Campbell at fullback. I would.
Who's your H back in that
Yeah,
backfield?
that's what I'm trying to think. Oh, this is what I'll do. Perfect. I'll start. I'll start Earl Campbell at fullback. I will start. I'll start Thurman Thomas at H back, and I'll convert Roger Craig into a tight end.
There you go.
Where I'll do him like Debo Samuel in today's 49ers lore,
Yep.
where he'll get a few carries in the game. I ain't cut
Just
none of those three.
Just those knees alone. You can't cut that.
No, no, no. And I know many out there would say, well, just by numbers alone, I'd probably start Thurman. I'd probably bench Earl, and I'd cut Roger Craig because Roger Craig is not the Hall of Famer.
You can't cut Roger Craig. You can't.
And people shortchange him. Why? I have no idea.
They continue to shortchange Roger Craig.
And many give and I get how I could see it and I could explain it better than others would, because the explanation I have is on the 80s 49ers team when Roger Craig played,
Mm-hmm.
if you weren't Bill Walsh, Joe Montana, or Jerry Rice, or maybe even Randy Cross and Ronnie Lott, if you were any of those five or any of those five members of the team, whether they were coaches or players,
Mm-hmm.
your success was due to the names I just mentioned.
Right.
And
Right.
it's unfortunate to many of those 49ers, many of them.
Jesse
Many of them.
Jesse
Yeah, Jesse
Sapolo
Sapolo's-
being one.
Yeah, he's one of the greatest offensive linemen to ever suit up.
Steve Wallace
and we
being
never
another.
hear his name
Nope.
at all.
Hey,
Never hear his
if
name
people
at all.
listen to me, we talk about him here.
Hmm.
Sapolo, Steve Wallace, Harris Barton. No love for
Oh,
Harris Barton,
Harris
who was
Barton,
one of the meanest offensive linemen I've seen play.
here's what I love about him. You just mentioned it. The dude had a nasty attitude,
Mm-hmm.
but you put a mic in his face, he's one of the most affable people you'll ever meet.
Yep.
He's my favorite on that in the 80s offensive line of the 49ers. He's my favorite, hands down, of all of them.
You know someone else who deserves some Hall of Fame love but will never get it, and you know the player I'm talking about who really gets cut because of all the other teammates. My next two words: John Taylor.
When people mention who are the greatest duos at wide receiver ever,
There's no love for Rice and Taylor. None.
you hear Holton and Bruce,
Mm-hmm.
you hear Wayne and
Harrison.
you hear Wayne and Harrison.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying I'm not saying
Look,
it's unwarranted with them.
Reggie Wayne and Marvin Harrison.
I mean, in the beginning of Wayne's prime,
Mm-hmm.
they actually were two number ones. So
Yep.
it was beautiful to watch them for a couple of years
Mm-hmm.
when Wayne got to his prime, how they operated. But there really wasn't a tandem quite like Jerry Rice and John Taylor. And I say it from the standpoint of you have two wide receivers who could run whatever on the route tree you
Yep.
ask them to do.
Yep.
You want them to run slants, they could do it. You want them to run curls, they could do it. You want them to run outs, they could do it. You want them to run posts, they could do it. You want to run outs, they can do it. You want them to run stutters, they'll do that too. You want them to go across the middle, they'll do that.
Mm-hmm.
You had two wide receivers who could do everything on the route tree. And people want to know why the 49ers were successful as they were. You had to think about doubling Rice.
And you had to think hard about doubling Rice. You
But
had
when
to think extra hard
Yeah.
about doubling Jerry Rice.
Because when you did, you have like in the clinching game in 1989 when they were in Anaheim playing against the Rams. You had Taylor scoring not one but two 90-yard touchdown passes.
Hadn't been done since.
Hadn't been done since, and most of each of those passes thrown to him, the yards were gained on the ground, meaning the yards after the catch was through the roof for those two catches alone.
And both of them were on a slant.
Both of them were slants.
The first one was in the second quarter on a 3rd and 2 after the 49ers stopped the Rams on a goal line stand. Matter of fact, both of those 90-yard touchdowns were precipitated by a goal line stand.
Yeah, goal line stand stops. Yep.
Because the second one came on a fumbled snap that Jim Everett couldn't handle. There's a name for you.
Yep. And it was, and then the year prior, or I should say, earlier that year, technically, when Rice was catching everything thrown to him in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
The Bengals defense leaned toward focusing on him.
And who's open?
You saw number 82 in Scarlet wide open. And Montana, being the smart quarterback he was, saw that, went to the man he needed to go to, and he receives the game-winning touchdown play.
And that was his only catch of the game.
And that's the only catch he had.
That was Taylor's only catch of the game, and it was a game winner, 10-yard game winner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When you look at the stats from Super Bowl 23, you see Montana throw for 357. You see Craig catch 9 for 101.
Right.
I'll come back to that in a moment. You see Rice catch 11 for 215. You see Taylor catch only 1 for 10, but you see two very significant letters right by it. TD.
Yep. And I'll put another 2. GW.
Game winner.
Mm-hmm.
Game-winning touchdown.
And that is the price you paid for thinking that you could just simply roll your coverage in Rice's direction.
Mm-hmm. And the ingenious part of that play, they put Rice in motion.
Yes. Which made you all think, oh, well, the ball's going to him.
The ball's going to Rice.
Mm-hmm.
Rice was nowhere near the play.
No.
He had
beautiful
Taylor
decoy
the entire time.
Mm-hmm. That was a beautiful decoy. And that's the thing. So, of course, if you do the opposite and roll your coverage in Taylor's way, you know you get cooked by Rice.
You're going to get cooked by Rice. And then there's Brent Jones, who was there.
And and then you adequately shut them down. You got Brent Jones, and then the aforementioned Roger Craig out the backfield.
Mm-hmm.
Who they never talk about him at all.
They don't.
Catching passes for 100 yards in the Super Bowl. Never.
See, and I think the 49ers are the only team to have two 100-yard receivers in the Super Bowl. Rice was one, and then the Roger Craig.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to close with this and look at some playoff scenarios. And there is a way that the 49ers can clinch a playoff spot on Sunday and not have to worry about punching the Rams in the mouth in Week 18.
They still make me sick, though.
Don't remind me. All the 49ers have to do is take care of business against Houston, and New Orleans goes down.
That's the team needs it. That's right. They haven't played this year. Okay.
New Orleans lost on Monday night,
Mm-hmm.
which basically puts the scenario in our own hands.
Mm-hmm.
They just need to take care of business. And as I'm looking up the schedule, you know what we need to bring, I think we need to come on tomorrow because Chris Dietz need to come on because Friday is the college football playoff.
College football playoff. Both of those games, yeah.
Oh,
yeah, both of games.
Damn it. The Panthers are playing. The Panthers are playing the Saints.
Yeah.
Crap.
In the Superdome.
The Superdome. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna have to get a miracle from the Panthers. That ain't gonna happen.
Because I was going to say what bodes well for the 49ers is the teams that are under them. The Eagles, the 49ers beat. The Vikings, the 49ers beat. The Falcons, the 49ers beat. So if they hold tiebreakers against those three teams.
Yeah. I know. It should. I'm going to get Mick Mixon on Friday because that's his last one. No, he's got one more after that. I'm sorry. This is his penultimate one. So I'm going to get him on. And thank you to both Mick Mixon and Matt Taylor for coming on all season long to help our football coverage. Man alive. Can you believe, A, we're almost at a new year, and B, how fast this football season has flown by, even with the extra game?
No. I was thinking about that. I was like, man, we were, talking about, okay, well, here's a new season, and I hope everything goes well. And so far, football's going pretty well. And to now look at the season now, and there's 2 games left for every team.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. It is crazy to think that we're now 15 games in for every team, 2 games left, and now
incredible.
The playoff scenarios are abounding. It is incredible.
Yeah. It's a pretty simple scenario because we do hold tiebreaker over Atlanta.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you hold tiebreaker over Atlanta, tiebreaker over Philly, and the tiebreaker over Minnesota.
And that was the
beat
part
all 3 of those games.
All in our house. No, we beat Philadelphia on the road.
Yeah,
beat them by 6. Beat them by 6 on the road.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the other 2 you did beat them at your house.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I didn't get a chance to say to you what I felt Thursday night. So I'm about to go to sleep because I know I have an early morning that day because my mother-in-law likes to host a Christmas Eve breakfast, and it starts around 10, but the preparation, of course, starts hours earlier.
Yes.
So I literally went to sleep when the game was over, and when I saw the final score, I was so disgusted. And it's not because I had a rooting interest in the 49ers or that I dislike the Texans, but yes, as a fan, there isn't a team I dislike more than the Titans. However, when I'm an analyst, I take the fan stuff and toss it completely out the window.
Yeah.
Just from looking at the highlights, I'm saying to myself, the 49ers had the healthier unit.
Mm-hmm.
They had the more talented squad. and they had the momentum. How is it that they did not? I'll get to Garoppolo in a minute. How was it that they could not turn Ryan Tannehill over when in the last 4 games the dude was just coughing the ball up or throwing it to an
Yeah.
opposite jersey, left, right, and center? I'm like, how in the world did they not turn him over? I'm like, that it, that to
Oh,
me was just a crime.
it is.
And
It is. It
then
is. It is.
yeah, and then when I get to Garoppolo, I'm like, okay, this is what's going to be sickening. There were many people, and I saw this on Twitter at the half.
Mm-hmm.
The game ain't over. I saw this at the half. You know what name trended?
Trey Lance.
Yes. And I clicked, and I saw highlights of, well, this is the reason why the 49ers need to get rid of Garoppolo. Or you mean to tell me this is the quarterback that's going to take us to the Super Bowl? Or this is why Trey Lance
This is,
must be the man to go starting in 2022 on.
and
And I'm
that's,
thinking,
and that's why I didn't mention any of that. I didn't mention any of that when I spoke of the 49ers loss on Friday because I know how angry it made me to see all of that after Garoppolo has a bad game. Every time Garoppolo has a bad game, that stuff pops
mhm,
up.
right.
Why can't
And
you give the why can't people give the same kind of um
kudos.
thank you, thank you, thank you. Why can't people give the same kind of kudos to Garoppolo when he has a good game? Why are they all looking for him to fail? And they're looking at this Tennessee game and the injury that happened because of that. Now, Garoppolo has not been ruled out.
Correct.
Garoppolo has not been ruled out. And you're facing Houston, so he only has to throw about 4 or 5 times.
And that is not a joke.
No, this is straight up fact. You can do the same thing to Houston that you did to Green Bay 2 years ago. Turn and hand the
Yeah.
ball off 35 times.
Yeah.
And I speak very highly of how sturdy Jimmy Garoppolo has been this year. He's only missed one game, and that's because he was forced out with an injury. That's it.
What upsets me about Garoppolo himself is that I really believe this was his opportunity to show why he is there and why he needs to be there as the 49ers starter. And there was the 2 interceptions, both were inexplicable.
Yeah.
They just were inexplicable. I'm like, you know better than this, Jimmy. You know better than this. Try to force it into Greek Kittle in coverage, and then
Both
overshot.
times he was looking for Kittle and overshot.
Yeah, and overshot Kittle with the interception out of the end zone. And both, of course, both were crushing because the interception in the interception in the end zone denied them 7, and the
game.
Opening drive, right? And then the interception in the third quarter led to the Titans scoring 7. So that was 14 points. The 7 that they didn't get, and 7 they allowed the Titans to get, and that was the difference in the game.
It was.
And it wasn't like the Titans were better.
No.
It wasn't like the Titans beat the 49ers up. Although, yeah, they were physical, but the 49ers were just as physical. It was a game I love. Yeah, it was a game I love. Right. Yeah, it was a game I loved because I was seeing 2 physical teams being like 2 Rams, and I got exactly what I thought I was going to get, and I was pleased with that.
Yeah.
But I dislike it. I don't care if it is the Titans. I dislike it when teams beat themselves, and you said it perfectly.
Yeah.
That is what frustrated me the most.
But you know what? That's why I can't wait for this Sunday. Because if I know their attitude the way that I do, they're going to take it out on Houston.
Yeah.
They're going to take it out on Houston, and I'm praying for a Panthers miracle.
I mean, this is a playoff caliber team because what they can do travels. They have a pass rush that is as good as any. And they have an offensive line who I would basically say the Colts are the only one that's better, but can beat any opposing defensive line up.
Beat them up bad.
And to me, they were set up. And if they did win against the Titans, they would have put even more pressure on the Rams and the Cardinals because they still would have been in the hunt for the NFC West Championship.
Yeah. Now I want them to be. Now I want them to be a wild card. I want them just to get in, so people that have been downing the 49ers can shut up.
I
It's
I won't. Yeah.
It stinks.
Mm-hmm.
But there are 2 games left.
Yeah.
Both that the Niners should win.
Yeah. I won't say the game against the Texans is a given, only because of what I saw Sunday in Houston against the Chargers. But.
Yeah.
But, and it's a huge but on this. The 49ers should wipe the floor with the Texans.
And you know what pissed me off? They flexed the Panthers game from 1 p.m. to 4:25.
That's interesting. Oh, okay. I think I know why. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
It makes sense because 49ers kick at 4:05.
Right.
And I'm going to be glued to that.
Yeah. They're about to say have them play at the same time since it has ramifications on the playoff
ramifications, so they're going to flex it.
Yeah. Okay.
But
yeah.
Still, damn it. That's all I could say. Damn it.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, folks,
but yeah, if frustrating.
Yeah. All right. We got the college football playoff coming up tomorrow, and Friday is our football Friday as we close out the year. Have a great afternoon. God bless. Remember to make your next move your best move. Always remember, if your dreams don't scare you, then they are not big enough. Dream big, do bigger. We are, and we hope y'all are too. We're out of here.